All right, you guys, I have been beating the drum about this for about 3 or 4 months now. Marjory Taylor Greene is somebody who is rebranding herself, and she is seeking a higher office. She barely mentions kings, and she is using the economic populist message that Democrats should be beating nonstop. And the problem with Marjory Taylor Greene, you guys, is she is a grifter. Like, her motivations for this are to seek power. So don't fall for it. She was on The View yesterday, and she's outflanking some Democrats and calling out Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. Play the clip.
I have no problem pointing fingers at everyone. And the worst thing that I just can't get over is we're not working right now. And I put that criticism directly on the Speaker of the House. And we should be at work. All the people sitting in this audience, they go to work every day. People at home watching this show, they go to work every day. Ladies, you go to work every day. The people on your set. And it is an embarrassment to me that we're not in session.
I mean, I just think that this is something that the Democrats need to start taking seriously. Yeah. They did not take Donald Trump seriously, and everybody assumed that nobody would vote for him. And he president twice, and now we know we're all witnessing the abuse on a daily basis of his dementia and narcissism. And this is just not really being addressed. And I don't know what her end motivation is, but she's a lot more politically savvy than I realized.
I completely agree. I thought she was just a crank, total nut that went straight for Donald Trump, but she's played the tape through. And what I find, like, why is it easy for her to now go after Mike Johnson? But you hear very little from from the Democrats. You know, we did hear from Hakeem very recently about the pedophile protection program. You know, I can name that one time I can name it. Why are they not pounding the drum every day? Because I'm with you. If you're just passing through your living room and the view's on, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't sound like a nut. She doesn't sound as crazy as we know she is.
Well, and this is Trump and she have clearly had some sort of falling out. I mean, I just don't think there's any question about that. And of course, it will always end up trickling out. I think that she might be mad because she wanted to run for Senate, and he probably torpedoed that. And so now she's like, okay, then I'm going to go for higher office. And the daylight that she is creating between herself and MAGA is a very smart play for any MAGA politician right now. Because Kanks is underwater, Kanks is wildly unpopular, Kanks has dementia, Kanks is tearing down the White House. You know, I mean, you're talking abysmal approval rating. The only people that like him are the people that she was formerly in QAnon chat rooms with. That's his support. That's what we're down to. Moving along, Marjorie Taylor Greene says there is no Republican health care plan, which we've all known forever. But here she is on mainstream television saying this. Play the clip.
I yelled at Mike Johnson last week on our GOP conference call. By the way, I'm missing the call today. It's going on right now. And I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy because the country deserves it, and it shouldn't be a secret. And I shouldn't have to go into a skiff to go find our Republican health insurance plan.
Maybe
Honestly,
there is no plan.
You know what? You want to know something? That, I believe, is the truth. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of bills, but there's no consensus. And I think that's a failure. I do.
You guys, I'm just going to say this right now. She's good at that.
She is.
I mean, she looked at her and she said, you know what? And this is sometimes the problem with Democrats. They get on these media, new media or mainstream media, and there tends to be sometimes a relatability issue, speaking over a certain grade level issue. And the way she simplifies everything down is something that Trump did initially. Trump went after Republicans. That was his playbook. He went after Republicans, and she is using the Trump 2015, 2016 playbook. She's going after the establishment because she sees that MAGA is breaking it and making the economy more difficult for everyone to function in. She is rolling out her own brand of MAGA here. And it all started with Kanks when he started attacking other Republicans. And that's what she's doing here.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even pick up on that because I find Mike Johnson, little Mike Moses, Grinder Johnson, I find him so repulsive. But you're right. She's going after him because she knows everybody thinks he sucks. Even Trump thinks, he sucks. So you're exactly right. We have underestimated her for so long. I mean, I have. Speaking for myself, I just thought she was a fucking nut. Turns out she's pretty astute politically. But, and the thing is, she doesn't sound like a nut. She just doesn't.
Well, and that's right, because she speaks a very simple language. If she were to get on a real, podcast or something, somebody would ask her about her renewed interest in healthcare and her renewed interest in human rights, because it would start breaking down.
Right.
She is, will she extend the same empathy towards LGBTQ youth or people that want to defend their marriages and their families that she does for Palestinian families? Will she do that? And that's where it will get into the nut cutting. But here's the thing. The electorate she's empathetic enough that satisfies them. She'll Christian signal, and she's ripping up the Republican governing status quo right now, well in advance, which is exactly what Trump did. All right, moving along, we have her reveal, and I think this wasn't that big of a reveal. I think I'd heard this forever, that right-wing podcasters get paid by MAGA, and right-wing influencers, when they're not paid by MAGA, they're paid by Russia. I don't think this is that big of a bombshell, but play the clip.
I think there's a lot of paid social media influencers. Mm-hmm. And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid. Mm-hmm. And they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm. And they're not getting our agenda done.
She's going after, this is the Donald Trump playbook. She is going after establishment status quo Republicans, which are now MAGA. The Republican Conservative Party doesn't exist anymore. It's these MAGA men. And she's going after the fact that she's planting the seeds that they didn't stand up to him, that they did everything he wanted them to do. And basically she's calling them all pussies.
Well, which they are pussies, but it's just, I can't even tell you the aha moment I'm having now that I'm playing all of this back. You're exactly right. She's got Donald Trump's playbook out and she's just going through it. We need to pay attention.
All right, let's take a break to hear from our sponsor that is doing incredibly important work all over the world. And I'm talking about MSI Reproductive Choices. It's a world leader in reproductive health care. Some people refer to this as family planning. They provide contraception, safe abortion, and other essential reproductive health care in 36 countries around the world, focused on serving women who have few, if any, other options for their services. Women who are living in poverty, in remote areas, women with disabilities, and adolescent girls. There are 257 million women who want contraception but can't access it. Trump cut $14 million in promised funding to MSI Reproductive Choices. As a result, 2.6 million women will lose access to reproductive health care unless we replace the funding. That could mean up to 2.4 million unintended pregnancies. Unintended pregnancies lead to unsafe abortion and death because pregnancy-related causes kill more young women than anything else in many parts of the world. So listener, donate today to offset these funding cuts, MSIUnitedStates.org. Help them keep their doors open and their nurses and midwives traveling to remote villages. For $65, you can give 10 women contraception for a full year. How many women will you help? Please give by going to MSIUnitedStates.org or text MSI to 511,511. All right, moving along. The Congresswoman from Arizona says she's not being sworn in because of the Epstein files. Play the clip.
You know, I never thought that, and I didn't think that initially. It's very conspiracy theory. Someone came up to me literally on election night and said, you know, he's not going to swear you in because of those files. And I thought, no, that can't be it. And here we are, 41 days today that I have been waiting to be sworn in.
41 days since you were elected. You've been waiting to do your job.
So, I mean, obviously, we all know that that is the case and not a conspiracy theory. But something that I want to get back to Marjory Taylor Greene real quick, and I apologize that we don't have that clip. One of the more telling and important quotes in her View interview that I watched was she was asked about her QAnon affiliation.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, I was kind of brainwashed just the way people are brainwashed by the news. And I thought this was really interesting because she is or being advised by people that are going to know that as soon as, you know, a major medical event happens and we have somebody hospitalized and or dead, this cult has no off ramp. And she is offering that to the most rabid of base. And I thought that was a really interesting thing that, number one, she was establishing that she wasn't QAnon anymore, which helps her with moderate voters.
Yeah.
Number two, if you are QAnon, you've been lied to and you've been propagandized. And she equates it to the same way liberals are lied to and propagandized by the news. And I just thought that was incredibly interesting because at the epicenter of all the QAnon stuff brings us to the yet to be sworn in Congresswoman from Arizona. Is their big push or these Epstein files. And you have this MAGA family values party that cares so much about children and families that they will not release the Epstein files because their dear leader, the aforementioned man with dementia that runs around acting like Marie Antoinette, is right in the middle of all of these Epstein files. And it is a real problem for the MAGA movement who fancies themselves big Christians, big family values, pro-life, pro-kid. And then the failure to release these files is just an arrow into the hypocrisy of that. And Marge has come as close as anybody has to pointing that out.
Yeah, she will say, we cannot protect pedophiles. I mean, she stood with those women on Capitol Hill. So, I mean, she has come out front on the Epstein thing. And in my mind, all of her stuff is, obviously, she's a Christian nationalist. She's looking out for number one. This is about politics. But here's the thing. She knows if and when those Epstein files come out, it's going to tank a large portion of the Donald Trump and his supporters. I mean, it's going to stab them right in the heart, I think.
She's just offering an off ramp to an awful lot of people right now who will do whatever they have to do to never vote for a Democrat. Right. And she is positioning herself. And I want to state that for the record, viewer and listener, I don't fall for this for a fucking second. This woman has participated in batshit crazy conspiracy theories, and that now she claims she has fallen prey to, and racism, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist shit. I commend anybody who evolves emotionally and psychologically. And if this is genuine, then so be it. I just think this is all political savviness. And I've seen that she's been hanging out with Steve Bannon quite a bit and Tucker Carlson quite a bit. And all of these people are gearing up for a post Donald Trump America because he is a dementia-ridden lame duck and he is quacking. And they see that the chum is in the water and they are ready like predators to go around and consolidate this space. All right, that's all we have for this episode. Please buy our book. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Like and subscribe to our channel, comment to feed the algorithm, and we'll be back later with more news.